So, pardon me if you hear a little background noise. I'm in Chambers Street. It's actually about 4:40 rush hour kind of time, right? But sometimes I feel like when you get spontaneous notions, spontaneous epiphanies, and such. Well, actually, all epiphanies are really spontaneous in a sense, if you think about it. But I feel like it's best to act on making a video right there because it's raw and fresh, and it's like you don't have to, like, the more you try to sit and ponder on how I'm going to say something, this and that, it sometimes, it stunts you a little bit, right? We all know how that can be. So the spontaneous, sometimes you flow the best. So, like I said, pardon me if you hear a little background noise. There's a little waterfall in the back. I'm speaking directly into the mic, so you should hear me pretty clearly. So, the cliche saying of desires is the root cause of suffering. All right, from the Buddha himself and other spiritual masters, maybe before and after him, in the lineage or not of that same Buddhist lineage. Okay, but we heard that in so many books, so many self-help gurus. We hear this over and over, and if you're like me, sometimes cliche things, they start to bore me and annoy me. Like, I heard that before. Yeah, I heard that, But it's sometimes you have to understand your boredom of something does not negate that thing and make that thing less of a gem or gold for your transformation. Or, we could apply this to anything. It could be in self-help area. It can be in just any part of walk of life, whatever, when we're tired of hearing something. And just because you suck your teeth and like, that saying may still have some raw power and supreme truths about it. So now, going into how desires is the root cause of suffering. All right, we've been taught that, or we have the habits, collective conscious human habit of seeking external things, whether it's in the form of hold on one second. I want to make sure that everything is recording on time. Okay. Seeking external things in the form of sex, food, money for power, that new shiny car, the new toys that we want, whatever it is. And we look upon that thing and we feel like this alleviation within inside when we obtain it. We go, man, wow, I'm so happy I have this thing, right? Whatever that is. If we don't have that thing, you be like, damn, man, shit. Keeps you up at night sometimes. During the day, occupies mind space. How much you don't have it, how much you're a loser because you can't afford that thing or obtain that thing. Comparison to others. Other people get it, I can't. I must be a loser, man. Right? And the mental dialogue just can go in so many directions with judgment and self-loathing and such. Now, think about it. Really think about it closely. Although it may seem logical that if you obtain every single thing that you desire, that would be the end of your suffering, it's really not. Because even if the gods wave their hand in the sky, Lakshmi herself, maybe Lord Shiva, maybe from Yoruba, Elegua, the crossroad opener, maybe Jesus himself, here's this $1 million, whatever it is. And then all of a sudden, it's a test. All the things that you wanted was given to you, and then 3 years later, snatched completely away. What you think will happen? You're gonna be loathing about it. You're gonna be like, oh man, all those things was taken from me. Oh man, I don't have it. So that's a false form of security, and it's a false solution for those cravings, because it never really was gone. So now we gotta look to the root cause inside of ourselves to desire things in general. Why do we desire so many things? If you look at people that live in villages and remote parts of the world, where there's just like simple things like fish, lake, the ocean, they got a few huts. Notice how this has been proven that they're the happiest. They're very simple. They tell the elder stories by the campfire. Sometimes they have a monthly festival dance. Within that month, they're preparing the beads and the necklaces and the headdresses to do the little chanting dances and the rituals. And the kids play, and it's just a really simple, But ironically, over here in the West, so much technology, so many things, so many commercials jumping out. You got to have this, you got to have that, you got to have this. And when you don't have those things, then you're like, man, I feel this void. That's a trap. That's a trap. So basically, I'm just making sure that this is recording. I got to make sure I do the 15-minute mark. So one has to start training his or her mind to say, no matter how much I desired this or that thing for 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, whatever that sex, food, material things, whatever it is, one has to start training his mind. Okay, that desire is so strong. The only reason why that desire is so strong is because it's been a habitual thinking that's been going on for so long. So don't ever let your ego play on your logic, and say, oh, if you desire it so strong, that means it must be a part of your soul into experiencing life, because if it wasn't, then you wouldn't have such a strong desire. So it's okay. Like, go after those. That's an ego trick. Don't believe that shit. The only reason why that desire is super strong is because the amount of momentum, the amount of time and energy that you put into it. So just look at that from a simple scientific level on why that desire is strong. That's the only reason why it's strong. Oh, that's scientific. Karma. Thank you so much. Now, boom. So know that. Right? Then start to look at what it is that you desire, and try to link it back to way in the past, maybe in childhood, maybe in your teenage years, of something that you felt inadequate about, and now you're trying to replace. This desire has infested your mind, right, and created actually like a phantom entity, because that's what you do. That's another metaphysical topic. You created this phantom entity that has the craving and the taste, and when you don't get that thing, you feel like there's a knot in your stomach. You got to grab some cigarettes. You got to grab some alcohol. You're like, man, I don't have that thing. So that's a whole nother topic. Because that's like a phantom entity when you create desire so much. It's like a synthetic self. All right. Now, almost lost my train of thought for a second, but so yeah, understand that the time that was put into it, that's why it's so strong. Link back to the past and see if there's some type of void. It was something somebody told you, or when you first got programmed on that thing is going to fulfill something in you. Okay? Sometimes they could come from your own self-delusions. Most of the time, or probably more than half, they come from some external source, a commercial, somebody taunting and teasing you as a kid. You don't have now you know, 25 years later, you don't even know why this desire is coming from something to do with that. All right, now make sure we're in sync with the time here. Okay. So, yeah, I think I should chop this up in parts. So, what's one more thing I want to say? There's nothing wrong with pausing. Pause with me. Just pause with me, right? This is not a trip up or slip up, but I'm just trying to think how I want to close this. So just a recap, whatever. I'm going to make this into 2 videos. A recap is that the cliche saying of desires is the root cause of suffering. There's still some powerful knowledge in that. Understanding that the only reason why your desires is super strong is because of the time and energy put into programming, you know, yourself through self-delusion that you need this or that thing. The other thing is, what else I said? I said that we know that the solution is not to get those 4 or 5 things that you desire, and then, you know, the gods themselves wave their hand and give you all those things. That might seem most logical to everyone. Okay, I wanted this thing, I was craving this thing so bad, I was suffering from not having it, it was given to me, and now I am I'm happy, I'm balanced and all that. But if it's taken away, then we know 90% of people will be suffering again. So that's a delusion, and that means that is not the true answer. And I'll leave it with this. The Buddha said that your desires, or something about your happiness as well, your happiness is the word, he said, your dukkha, which means something about like the side of it, like they compared it to like a coin, like heads or tail. You only see on one side, but when you flip it on the other side, it holds the same polarity. So just keep that in mind. You know, your pursuit of I must be happy, I must be happy, I must be happy, which is a human thing to want to be happy. But the pursuit of it is your dukkha, and other side of it is the suffering, because its desire is attached to it. Okay, so I'm gonna leave y'all with that right there, and I'm gonna do a part 2. Okay, expanding on it some more. Okay, probably gonna break it up into 3 parts. So yeah, this is Lucid Dreamer. Stay tuned. I'm gonna have hundreds of videos this year. I guarantee you that. I got a lot to say. I have a tremendous amount. I'm sitting on 25 years of knowledge of why I waited a certain time to release this. This is a soul thing for me that must be done. It's the right time now. And anyway, I can keep going, you know what I'm saying, and sidetracking and stuff, but I'm going to cut it off here, all right? Take care, y'all. Leave your comments. Subscribe. I appreciate it. Peace.